Okay, we live? Yeah. All right, hey everyone, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name's Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak in the Bag show, the last show of the week. Friday afternoon, 6 o'clock Eastern time. It's been a successful week overall, a little stressful, but a successful week overall. And today's kind of a weird card. Of course, we're dealing with the trades, all the trades in the NFL, in the NBA, and it's a small college basketball card. And we got the usual assortment of NBA games that look like they might be great bets or maybe not. I've made a bunch. Jim's made a bunch. Jim passed on the entire entire NBA slate. And I gave a few picks on the college basketball card, a couple of totals that I'm kind of liking, but not totally sure if I'm thinking about it and not understanding the line movement. The line movement to the under in the Davidson game has me a little bit concerned and confused.
I do have a play to add on to the NBA card, so I'm not.
All right, so you are going. Okay, great. So you're. Oh, Jesus Christ! What the hell's going on here? This fucking mouse isn't working. The wireless mouse.
Fucking mouse.
I might have to get a. What the hell's going on here?
That fucking mouse.
I might have to get a wired mouse. I don't know what the hell's going on here. What the hell's going on here, Larry? The mouse isn't working. The mouse isn't working, Larry. Larry, the mouse isn't working, Larry. The fucking wireless mouse isn't working at all. At all. Is there supposed to be batteries in this shit? Yeah, there are, aren't there? Are there? What's going on here? This is a live show we're doing here. This is a disaster, Larry. This is a disaster. I gotta get my wired mouse or something. I don't know what the hell's going on here. The mouse isn't working. Mouse isn't working. God damn it. All right, so here we go. Now we got that. So yeah, and also did cover MMA with Andreas Hale. We are going to give some. We did give some picks on the on UFC 221. It's once again a kind of an interesting card on UFC 221. I did make a couple bets, and Andreas Hale made a couple picks as well. All right, so should we go to college basketball?
Yeah, but we got some new people on the chat, which I fucking dig. Cody Hollowell on the chat. Also, we have, where was it? John Opiniano. John Opiniano says, fuck yes. I took my lunch really late so I can watch this shit at work.
Nice.
It's lit.
Nice.
John, thanks for joining us, my man. I like it.
Nice. What's the first comment you got there from Cody Holloway? 1 hour, boys?
Yeah.
All right. Nice. Excellent. Let me read these. Oh, yeah. Oh, G-Money NHL Top Shelf says, I will send Loshak a Fish shirt. The hippie chick will love it. Oh, that would be very nice of you, G-Money NHL Top Shelf. Fish, I kind of like hippie music. I always thought Fish sucked, though. But, whatever. I like hippie music for sure. All right, let's see. And, we will... Oh, thank you very much, Larry. There's supposed to be batteries, is what they said. Batteries. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a new mouse. Okay, great.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. There is a 6 o'clock Eastern time college basketball game, which means at the halftime of that one, we'll go in the middle of the show. So, at 6:50 Eastern time, I'll take a look at. Oh, nice, working perfectly, working beautifully. If there's a halftime bet that I'm liking on that one, I will add that one on to my official plays as well.
Yes, I'm very interested.
Toledo and Miami, Ohio. That's the type of game that can have a second half play on it. A lot of people in the morning show were saying they liked Toledo minus the points. That line did get bet up, so we'll see what the second half situation is there, and then we will. If there's second half play, I'm liking it, and I'll give it. All right.
Carlos Peroj says, I'm new in my car watching.
Oh, very nice. Wow, look at all these. Who are all these new commenters? Really? There you go. Sammy Camaccione, the old reliable there.
Oh, Cody Hollowell says, I'm going to hook up Loshak with my mom so I can talk sports all day with him. Fuck yeah,
very
Cody.
Nice. Yeah, sure. We're going to need some picks. Nate Pereira says, you look badass today, Peter. Thank you very much. I'm definitely tired and worn down, as I always am Friday afternoon, but feeling okay. Let's see. All right, let's see what else. What other comments do we got? And then let's go into. All right, let's get into college basketball. Jimmy the Bag.
I got a ton of plays.
All right, I gave really okay, excellent. In the morning show, I did give Harvard -2, which now has seen a little bit of line movement in the other direction, which is a little bit concerning, right? Princeton is now taking some money, which is not a great thing to see, but okay, it's all right. I also gave I was concerned about the line movement in Kent State, Ball State. I bet it at 5.5. I gave it at 6 in the morning show, and now it's up to 6.5 or even 7 at U-Wagers. That's not a good sign there at all. And then I also did take a shot shot with Cornell at 5.5, and that is still right where it is at 5.5. And I guess that's about it. So what do you have to say about college basketball today, Jim? This seems like the kind of college basketball card that will be right up your alley, Jim.
I feel like I've got some plays that I can really believe in. I was told about a couple people that are on Princeton.
Really?
Yes. And I wanted Harvard. So so let's talk more a little bit about it.
Native Queen likes Princeton first half. Justin Searcy, I took Princeton money line. All right, talk about it, Jim.
Big Man, I was told Big Man is on Princeton. I was told Dex is on Dexter Rojas, who we love capping with, is on Princeton. So Princeton's looked very bad of late. Their defense is falling apart. They allow 70.3 points per game on the season, but have allowed an average of 92 points per game in disappointing home losses to Brown. 17-point home loss to conference leader Pennsylvania. Princeton is led by guards, right? They have really nice guards. We watched them go into USC and beat them when Boatwright was out of the lineup, because if it's a guard battle, these guards are nice, man. David Cannady, 18 points, 5.1 boards. Miles Stevens, 14.5 points, 6.1 boards. They're active on the glass. Point guard Amir Bell, 10.5 points, 5.4 boards, 3.9 assists. The three all play over 33.5 minutes a game. No one else on the team plays more than 20.3 minutes a game. Their bigs are trash. They continually hold them back. 6'8", Sebastian Mutch plays 20.3 minutes a game, yet only gets 2.8 rebounds. Twadi Latte's on Princeton. Everybody, Normal Nation's on Princeton. Madu 1984 NBA is on Princeton. Harvard has different bigs that can give Princeton trouble. They've got the 6'7" big, 215-pound Seth Towns, 15.6 points, 5.2 boards. They got 6'9" Chris Lewis, 11.7 points, 5.3 boards. They have two guys on the bench, 6'8" Danilo Juricic, and they have Robert Baker just back from injury at 6'11". The talk of the team is point guard Bryce Aiken, right? He's been battling knee problems all year. Team's second leading scorer. Came back for 3 games, just wasn't himself. He did not look good. It's best for him to stay on the sidelines. He's unlikely to play tonight. Listed as doubtful. It's best if he doesn't play. I went over all this and saw how Princeton is getting beaten up. Lee Davis is coming and saying Princeton pulling 69% on the money line. Justin Searcy says, screw the bigs. All this info, at first I was like, okay, I'm going to stay off of Harvard. And then after sitting on it for an hour or two, I'm like, no, I think Princeton's weakness is when you can show them combination of bigs because their bigs are trash. And Harvard can do that. And Harvard's at home, and Harvard's playing well right now. It's a very, very small line. I'm on Harvard.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So you're going against all the, it certainly seems like more people, in chat, I haven't seen anyone. In the morning show, there was like 1 or 2 people who said they liked Harvard, but here I'm seeing everyone liking Princeton.
Everybody.
And you think that's just because the guy's out?
No, I think that's because people remember who Princeton was, not who Princeton is.
Oh, that can't be it, right? Princeton hasn't been dominant for a long time, right?
No, they've been playing well up until these last 2 games. They've been playing fine. Their guards succeed all the time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll go with it. It's good to hear, Jim. Because and as you know, let's see. Josh Miller says Princeton is 1-6 straight up in its last 7 games when playing on the road against Harvard. Kilted Chimp says Harvard can get to the rim.
Finally, Jace Gum says I took Harvard as well.
Interesting stuff.
Elio Rodriguez says I'm with you, Jimmy. Thanks. I thought I was alone.
Ernest Huffman. Now all the Harvard people coming in there. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna go with it. Obviously, this game could go either way. These lines are very, very tight, which is why sometimes which is why sometimes you have some downswings, even if you're on the right side of all your plays. I'm sticking with it. Justin Series says bounce back for Princeton. So maybe Princeton's recent performances are a little bit illusory, and what the real Princeton is the Princeton that we saw before that, who was covering game in and game out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, that's what the belief is for these guys. Yeah. Native Queen just taking Princeton first half. Dirty Sanchez is with me. Kilted Chimp says Harvard has some D. JP Fahey says Harvard here. The Harvard backers are coming out. Harvard is a strong defensive team.
Yeah.
They're at home.
Sure.
They're stepping up right now. They need these wins.
All right. Roel Tutal says Princeton money line. Everyone is disagreeing with this one. Everyone is disagreeing. Everyone is on opposite sides here. A lot of strong opinions. Seems like more of the strong opinions are on Princeton, but it seems like it's about 60% Princeton, 40% Harvard. I'll take Harvard, and I will stick with my play. Jim, do you want to make a play on this one?
Yes, full game.
Really? You're taking Harvard here?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, let's find you the best line. I'd take -2. It is now down to a 1.5 at God, I can't see shit. 1.5 minus 110. Do you want -2 minus 101 or 1.5 minus 110?
I will take -1.5 minus 110.
All right, -1.5 minus 110. Now we understand why the line move has gone where it's gone. All right, we'll see how it turns out. Native Queen, that's an opinion that carries a lot of weight with me. Like in Princeton first half, which is a curious.
They'll come out firing shots.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come out firing shots. Their offense is stronger than Harvard's.
All right, let's move on. Jimmy the Bag. What other college basketball games do you look at that you like here?
Well, I have and I don't ever like this, and it's not something that's succeeded for me in the long run. But I'm taking Brown. I'm going against your Cornell play.
Wait a minute. Justin Siri says, why is the line at -2 and the majority of the money is on Harvard? I thought the majority of the money was on Princeton, or just the majority of our commenters.
I was under the impression that so we just said that 69% of the money line is on
Princeton.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see. Let's move on. Okay. So you're gonna go against the Cornell in the Cornell game.
I am.
All right. Let's hear it.
Cornell has looked awful on the road of late. They lost their last 2 back-to-back road games to Princeton and Columbia by a combined 63 points. Cornell's offense is okay. They average 74.2 points per game. Matt Morgan averages 23.6, hits 40% from 3. Brown won at Princeton, whereas Cornell lost there by 37. Brown has been playing small ball lately and being rewarded for it. 9 players play at least 12.5 minutes for the Bears, although one of those guys is a big Travis Fuller who's been completely taken out of the rotation. So really there's just 8 guys they're moving forward with one big Matt DeWolf who only plays 16 minutes a game. They like to go small and let their backcourt of Brandon Anderson and Desmond Cambridge do all the scoring and do all the damage. They combine to average 36.3 points a game. A lot of models have under being a huge play here. And because of the models aren't taking into account Brown going so small the last few games and taking this guy Fuller out of the rotation. Because of that, now because of everybody's models saying that it's going to go way under, I'm not going to take the over. But something has changed with Brown, and it's working. And I'm taking Brown to cover the spread.
All right, you might be right there. I have a feeling you're on the right side here. -5 minus 110 is the best line we can give you right now. Jim's going to take Brown. -5 minus 110. I did put on Cornell earlier, and I think the Jim might be on the right side here. Brown -5, unless you want 5.5 plus 101.
No, I'm fine with -5.
All right, -5. -110. DJ Big Boss asked how I did with my 50 picks yesterday. Well, since I was positive, don't mind if I tell you exactly. Jim, you mind if I take a second out
I'd like you to. You did very well.
Okay, yes, let's see. A copy here. Just going to quickly find out what my exact record was from yesterday of all the picks that I made. Here you go. DJ Big Boss. I'm about to quote you my official total record from all of yesterday's picks, which included a bunch of tails, a bunch of crazy stuff, a bunch of the USC was a nice tail, others. I was 22-14, up 6.7 units. That's what I was yesterday. DJ Big Boss. Very nice. Thanks very much.
I did also look into that Cornell Fuckfest, and it was exactly what everybody had said on the chat. It was a competition to sleep with as many, let's call them bigger women as possible. And it sounded like it was a very successful competition.
I love big women. You don't need a competition to make me sleep with big. I'll sleep with any big woman that's out there.
They try harder, man. They care.
Jesus Christ, I don't know what the be. All right, yeah, you shouldn't. You should. That's I mean, they're college kids. That's what they're gonna do. But all right, so is anyone suspended or what?
It was just a frat. It wasn't the basketball team.
Oh, so what does that have to do with basketball team?
Absolutely not.
Oh, well then what? So why was okay? So it's like how okay. So no one on the basketball team was involved.
Yeah, well, I think, the hot skinny girls who've been getting no action over the last few weeks feel better about themselves. They understand what was up.
I hear you. All right, so that's about it for that one. Jim's going to take.
Sulfur Gary says, I think I saw Pete at the fuck fest.
Yeah, I would have gone if they had invited me. If I had known where it was, I would have gone for sure. It wouldn't have been a contest for me. I would have been just there hanging out though.
Just watching.
Just
watching, drinking tea.
Yeah, and the chicks would have been like, I heard there's a contest going on, and I was like, maybe for these guys, for me, this is just fun. This is just considered a good time for me. I don't
just drinking prune chai and watching.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Jim's going to take Brown -5, -110. What else would you like to take here, Jim?
Robbie Tacola says, Pete acting like he didn't organize the fuck fest.
No, yeah. I love hanging out with millennials, man. Millennials love me. You know what I'm saying? I would love to go to frat parties right now, even at my advanced age. What else do you...
I am on Columbia this evening. I see this as two teams moving in opposite directions. Yale's lost 4 or 5, and Columbia continues to improve. Since entering conference play, they beat Harvard and came close at conference leader Pennsylvania. This team has clearly changed since getting Kyle Kaslan back in the lineup. They've gone 5-3 since he came back. He scored 16 points in each of the last 2 games, wins over Harvard and Dartmouth. In those 2 wins, he's going to combine 10 for 15 from the field. Their big Lucas Meisner is playing very well. He averages 11.3 points, 6.8 boards, hits 54% from the field, and 44% from 3. But the big difference as well in this game is he plays beside 6'10 Patrick Tate, who's begun to hit the boards with authority. Somebody's got into him and told him what he has to do to stay on the court. He has 17 boards over his last 2 games. As a team, Columbia hits 37% from 3. Jansen Bonzone says Yale owns Columbia. I understand this, but I think this, Native Queen says, took Columbia first half. Eric Hamburger says, yes, Columbia wins outright. See, Jansen, these are 2 teams moving in opposite directions. So we don't need to care as much about the past as we do about what's going to happen here tonight. As a team, Columbia hits 37% from 3, led by junior Quentin Adlish, who hits 47% from long range. He went 11 for 19 from 3 over the last 2 games. I've said all these guys, all these game changers, yet I haven't even mentioned Mike Smith, who scores 17.4 points per game. Yale's front court, freshman Paul Atkinson, 6'10 freshman, 9.1 points, 4.8 boards, plays beside 6'7", 240-pound Blake Reynolds, 10.3 points, 5.2 boards. And then the 3 is Maya Oni, 6'7", 14.9 points, 5.5 boards. This is a strength for Yale. There's no getting around. This is a nice front court. But I think Columbia is moving in the right direction. I'm taking them.
That's what I was thinking as well. I was leaning that way, and let's see what the line is right now. It's still 4.5s available. No 4.5 -110. Let's see. We can give you Columbia plus 4.5 -115. 4.5 -115. That's the current line at Pinnacle, and you definitely like that one, right, Jim?
I do.
You looked into that one. You're like, I like this one.
I did.
All right, I'm taking that too. Columbia plus 4.5 -115. I bet it. I was leaning that way as well. And what do you think about doubling up? You like it enough to take them on the first half as well? Native Queen said she took Columbia first half also.
She did say she took Columbia first.
All right,
half.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to. This is how this show works. You know what I'm saying? Other people that you respect giving opinions that they feel confident in. You tell them, and then they become your picks and your bets. First half plus 2.5 -115. Thank you so much to Native Queen for that play. Thank you so much for Jimmy for the bag for the great research. And I think I'm going to make 2 units on this one. I'm taking Columbia first half and full game.
Well. Hearing that makes me want to do the same.
Oh, here we go. What do you think, Jim?
It makes me want to do the same. So she was leaving. Native Queen was leaning over on the first half in Columbus as well. It makes me want to do the same. And
I was thinking about the over in that one too, and certainly on the first half, definitely I might throw that one on there as well. I definitely like the over in that game a little bit, and maybe a little bit more the first half over. It's up there at 70.5 or 71, but these teams have been playing high paced, right, Jim?
Well, Columbia has been.
Yeah. But you don't trust Yale to get involved in that kind of a game in this spot?
No, I do think they can. And their front court is a big advantage. So no, I think that is a legitimate play that could definitely work.
All right, so
Ace
Jim.
Farmer says Columbia has a major contributor out tonight.
Who's that?
I mean, I didn't have it on my shit. Let's
see. Who's out? Who's out for Columbia?
Yeah, I don't have it on my injury report.
Is it a recent one? A recent announcement?
I mean, it must be. I don't know if he can, if he is choosing to expand.
Is it Lucas Meisner? Is it Mike Smith? Is it
Ace? Can you give us more information on that if you can?
Lucas Meisner, Mike Smith, Quentin Adlesh, Nate Hickman, any of those guys? If it's not one of those guys, then it's pretty cool. Then there's no problem here.
Well, that is concerning.
Who is it?
Well, we don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to. Colombia is missing Pablo Escobar. Okay, but Bill Butler. I was just reading that flat out. It's legitimate information. Okay. So I'm gonna stay off, leaving that first half until we can get some more.
I mean, I think that if there was someone serious out for Colombia, the line would have taken a move in the other direction because of that, instead of heading in consistently in Colombia's favor.
Yeah,
that might just be bad information. That just might be our hater figuring out that if he really wants to harm this show, buying likes is not the way to do it. The way to do it is to come in and feed false information.
Oh, I don't think Ace is doing that. Yeah. Oh, it says my bad. It's for Yale.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Oh,
okay.
For Yale. Well, yeah. that certainly makes a difference. Yeah. When a key player is out, it's nice to know which team is the guy out for. Right. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a key piece of information there. But a key contributor is out for Yale. Okay, so that's even better. All right, so we're taking Columbia.
I'm going to jump on the first half, too.
Okay, here we go. Columbia first half, plus 2.5, minus 115. Columbia plus 2.5, minus 115. All right, Jimmy the Bag. Let's talk about Davidson, Rhode Island. Davidson, a big move in favor of Davidson, right? They opened as a 7-point dog, now down to 5 or 5.5, and the total has also taken a dip down, which I don't understand. Is maybe someone out for Rhode Island that would be contributing to both those moves? Because I was thinking that the over might be worth a shot here, but a big move to the under and a big move in favor of Davidson. So either that means that someone in the know knows that Davidson is going to slow things down and do it effectively, or someone might be out for Rhode Island. What's going on here? Is someone out for Rhode Island?
I'm going to go into the latest injury report as we speak here. And I have nothing new. But I do know that a ton of people I really respect are on Davidson, and I was not comfortable with this spot, and I'm leaving the game off of my card. Rhode Island sitting on their highest ranking in school history, won 14 straight overall, 19 straight versus A10 opponents. They had the whole week off, after winning 81-68 at VCU last Friday. In that game, flatters VCU. They were completely dominating this whole spot. Dan Kelly says that big man was on Davis this morning. He got +7. This team used to be about Rhode Island. This team used to be about just Jared Terrell, E.C. Matthews doing the scoring. But Stanford Robinson has come in, and he's playing tremendous. Against VCU, went 9 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 6 steals. That's a line. And then 6'8", 225-pound Cyril Langevin went for 18 rebounds against VCU. This is a guy they need to have step up. Davidson's coming off a 91-62 thrashing, visiting St. Joseph's. We had that game doubled up. Wildcats have won 3 consecutive games, 8 of their last 10 to move into second place in the conference. 6'8", 225-pound senior Peyton Aldridge scored 32 against St. Joseph's. He outscored St. Joseph's by himself in the first half, 29-28. Only one of their last 10 opponents have scored 70 points on them. Now, we talked about Davidson's guards having so much length. That was the reason why we are taking them to destroy St. Joseph's, right? Their smallest guy on their starting 5, John Axel Gudmundsson, is their smallest starter at 6'4". But the reason why I couldn't, and Native Queen Davidson first half strongly. Wow.
Strong.
Wow.
She never has said that before. The right? She didn't
even now. She said Storngling.
Oh,
but I understood.
Wow,
I understood that was a mix up with the R and the
Yes, I mean she's an oracle, so sometimes they don't speak in easy to understand language.
For sure,
the message is what's important there. Wow, and why is the total going down, Jim? Because I think there's going to be defense oriented game from Davidson.
I believe that has got to be the answer to that. And so speaking about this defense that I love of Davidson's. It really works against smaller guards, and Terrell and Matthews aren't. Terrell's 6'3", Matthews is 6'5". So, but Davidson is just they're a team that's working together incredibly well. 12th in the nation in assists at 17.5, 12th in the nation. Let's see. Instapicks likes Davidson and the under. Brent Brooks is on Davidson first half. And I got to give Brent a shout out when we get to the hockey section of the show. Robbie says Davidson doesn't turn the ball over and Rhode Island fouls a lot. Davidson is one of the best foul line shooting teams in the nation.
Wow.
Jace Gum says, I like Davidson, but the best line I got was +6.5.
Yeah. All right. Well, I better get on this right now. And this is turning into the Fade Native Queen show. This we should call this show Welcome to the Loshak and the Bag and the Native Queen. I'm not Fade. Sorry, it's not Fade. Tailing. Yeah. Loshak and the Bag and Native Queen Tales show. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take Davidson first half. Davidson first half plus 3.5 minus 120. That's the current line at Pinnacle. Other places have 3 or 2.5. Jimmy the Bag. What do you think?
I think you guys are on the right track, and I'm going to leave this game alone. Douglas Bolton comes in to show a different side. He says Rhode Island and the over.
Wow.
Jansen Bonzone says my current model full game has a score Rhode Island 65, Rhode Island 69, Davidson 65.
69-65.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would mean a cover for Davidson.
Yes.
Wow. Davidson or bust. Wow. Okay. Oh, but Native. Oh, LOL strong. Okay. Wow. All right, I'm on it. I'm on Davidson first half plus 3.5 minus 120. Obviously, the line has moved strongly in Davidson's favor. I was leaning the over on this one, but the line move is clearly pushing the under. Jansen Bonzone says current model has a score going in the mid 130s. Very interesting stuff. Man, the commenters are carrying this show today in the afternoon.
They've been carrying the show for months, man.
Yes.
These guys are incredible.
Unfriggin' believable. All right, so the Kilted Chimp sends Davidson. Nope. All right, so let's see. The official picks that we've given so far, we haven't even touched on the Indiana game, which we're going to get to in a second. Jim is on Harvard minus 1.5, Brown minus 5, Columbia first half plus 2.5, and full game plus 4.5. I'm on Columbia first half plus 2.5, and the full game plus 4.5, and Davidson first half plus 3.5. We should get to the Indiana game. Earlier on, there was a comment on from someone who said that he goes to Indiana, or someone saying that the Indiana players are very, very confident in this game, and he thinks they're going to roll, and the money is now headed in that direction.
Corey Dickerson, yeah, the money's been going that the whole way.
All right, did you look at that game? While I searched for that comment, tell me what you think about this game, Jim.
Well, I knew that a bunch of respected cappers were on Indiana, so I knew that going in. And then when I started talking to Max about the game, Max likes Minnesota here. Max really liked their game against Nebraska. Let's break it down. It's been a very difficult season for Minnesota. Lost 6 straight, 9-10. They lost Reggie Lynch early in the season. Then Amir Coffey has missed the last month with a shoulder injury. Coffey's questionable to make his return tonight. I don't know if you guys know if he will be making his return, but they thought he was going to make his return last game. Remember when we saw the big line change when he didn't?
Yes.
Starting guard Dupree McBriar, is also questionable due to a stress reaction in his left shin bone that bothered him early in the year and has flared up again. He's unlikely to play, but again, I don't have the last second information. Through it all, thanks to the heavy lifting of star Jordan Murphy, the Gophers have played the best teams in the nation very close. They lost at number 24, Michigan, by just 3 points in overtime. They're coming off a 91-85 loss at home to Nebraska on Tuesday night. Indiana just won at Rutgers by 22 points. They're feeling good about themselves. Here, right away, right when I say that, I read Flipper13 says Indiana overconfident. That's a problem that these teams have when they play Minnesota. Ace Farmer says Coffey's at 100% and Dupree, so they're both up, which will definitely help Indiana. So Indiana just won at Rutgers by 22 points, stopped a 4-game losing streak. They're just 6-7 in the Big Ten. Their last 2 home games were against Michigan State and Purdue, 2 excellent teams. They lost to Michigan State by just 3. They lost to Purdue by just 7. They will find this a much easier matchup. After losing Deron Davis for this season, Juwan Morgan has stepped up in an enormous way. He's averaging 16.8 points, 7.3 boards. He will have a difficult matchup with Gopher star Jordan Murphy. I have not succeeded. And it's because of the spots. I'm picking the wrong spots. But I've not succeeded fading Minnesota. And I just have this recency bias that's maybe going to cost me money tonight. But at this point, I'm going to stay off this game.
Was it Corey Dickerson? Because I'm seeing his comment earlier, and he did say that his boy is calling for a win by Indiana. But someone else said that the players are feeling very confident. It was someone who made a specific comment about the players, and I'm hoping that comment didn't get deleted yet, because I wanted to go back to it when we got to this game. But it was someone talking specifically about like the mindset of the players or something like that. Did you see that? Did you happen to see that comment, Jim?
No, just the one from Corey.
Yeah, damn. Damn, I can't find that comment. I guess it got deleted. What the hell is wrong with YouTube? You can't have like 500 comments or 1,000 comments, or how about all the comments staying there? They get only 200 comments and then they get immediately deleted. That's just so weird. That's so like 2004 style. All right. Well, Jimmy the Bag, what do you think? Also, one of our Sammy Camachione, I think that one also got deleted. Said there it is, there, early. Sammy Camachione, Indiana minus 6.5, boys. He likes Indiana. What do you think about this one, Jim?
I can completely understand why Indiana's a play.
Mm-hmm.
I've just not found success when I've tested Minnesota handling adversity. Now, Minnesota's lost 9 of 10, but they've covered the games when I thought they wouldn't be able to. And I can understand the play on Indiana.
All right, yeah, I'm going to pass on this one. It definitely makes me a little bit nervous. I might have a second half play on this one. Yeah, Coffey and McBrayer out from Minnesota. That's big. They are kind of just a bad team, though, aren't they? Real bad, right?
They're an improving team.
Are they?
Yes. I mean, obviously, I'm talking about the last 6 to 8 games.
Right.
But yes, they're an improving team. Losing those two bigs. I mean, Reggie Lynch is a huge player. Coffey's a big player. Losing those two guys, it took a little while for their other bigs who were playing 5 to 10 minutes a game to start handling and playing 30 minutes a game. You know, I can completely understand why Indiana's a play.
Yeah.
And Max is saying I can just see mini backdoor covering 7 points. You know, I can see it and I get it, and I'm staying off of it.
All right, so you're going to stay off this game. I'm starting to think that Indiana might be the play here, first half and full game. Aiken out for Harvard. Is that true?
We knew that the whole time.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
Okay.
And
right.
He was the guy I was talking about how we want him out of the lineup. He's not looking right. Let's just not have him come out and play poorly for 20, 25 minutes or come in and play poorly for 6 or 7 minutes.
All right, Jimmy the Bag. What? Oh, here we go. 10 Toes Down says, you guys are the best. I only found you guys 4 days ago, but I watch every day.
Sweet.
Thank you so much. 10 Toes Down. If you've only watched us for 4 days, you might not know that I live for comments like that. They make my whole life, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Cody AV says, Pete, where'd you get those shades? Like about 6 years ago, someone from SBR gave me these when we used to do Secret Santa swaps here at SBR. And
nice.
So I've had these, and these were just sitting on my table. And, you know, there's hearts on them. It is Valentine's Day, right? It's the old February, a time of year, Black History Month, Valentine's Day. And so, you know, feeling kind of good about, I love February, Jim, because my first of all, Valentine's Day, you know, it puts chicks in a better mood, you know,
sure.
And also college basketball just gets way easier and more clear for me in February. So I love it when it flips from January to February. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Jimmy the Bag, what else are you liking here on college basketball, Jim?
Well, I'm doubling plays on the Kent State at Ball State game. I am taking Kent State, and I'm taking the over in this game.
Wow, really? So you don't? So you disagree with this line movement then?
I do.
Wow. Do you know why? Is someone out for Kent State?
No, I'll double check unless something had changed last minute.
It's just that they're at home on a national TV game. That's what it is.
People have not trusted this Kent State team. You know, all season, and I understand why. Just the same injury they've been dealing with.
Ace Farmer says, Pete, Jimmy, what's y'all favorite movie? Easy. I'm only addressing this because I can address it right now. Groundhog Day, favorite movie of all times. All right, let's move on.
Okay, so I'll think about my favorite movie. I'm not sure what to give there. Raymond Kenny says, Bag, why do you like the over in Penn Dartmouth? And we'll get to that, Raymond. Dartmouth is struggling. Penn has held opponents to an average 65 points over the last 4 games. We'll get to that. Both teams have nice front courts, but I especially like the Ball State front court. 6'9" Trey Moses, 6'8" Tajay Teague, 6'7" Kyle Mahlers. I like them. And they will have their hands full with Kent State 7-footer, 261-pound center Adonis De La Rosa, who plays right beside 6'9" Danny Pippen. Okay, so it's all. I like Ball State's front court a little bit better than Kent State. Ball State point guard Taylor Persons, 14.6 points, 4.4 assists. He'll have a tight matchup with Kent State point guard Jalen Avery, 9.3 points, 4 assists. But yes, Taylor Persons slightly better than Kent State's point guard. So if both the front court and point guard comparisons are tight, slightly in scoring to Ball State, Kent State easily wins the shooting guard spot. Jalen Walker is a beast, 17.4 points per game. In their 88-80 overtime win over Ball State, Kent State went just 7 for 25 from 3. They kept dropping the ball. Every time they had a chance to move forward, they shot poorly in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Kent State can keep this close. Mm-hmm. I know King Rail was even talking about taking Kent State on the money line. I think that not only can Kent State keep it close, but I think there will be more scoring. Josh Miller says Kent State wins outright.
King Rail took Kent State on the money line. Everyone's loving Kent State, so then why is it now up to 7 at some places? It's just money pouring in on Ball State.
Money is pouring in on Ball State.
I guess because they're like, oh, Josh Miller says Kent State. Everyone's liking it, and so I guess it's just the people are saying, oh, Ball State, they're at home. They'll probably roll. I don't know. I disagree with that. I took them. I bet it at 5.5. Got a terrible number in the show. I gave it at 6. That's also a bad number. What are you going to do here, Jim?
I'm going to take Kent State on the full game.
This might be one of these situations where Native Queen said a few shows ago, she was like, who are the Sharps on? Native Queen was like, well, we are the Sharps. So whoever we're on, that's who the Sharps are on, Jim. Right?
It's a nice.
I like that one.
Nice.
All right, Kent State. We will be able to. We do U-Wager, so everyone else has 6.5, but U-Wager is already up to 7. So we'll give you Kent State plus 7 minus 110. Damn, Jim. These points do matter. Yesterday in the Houston game, you remember, Jim? In the I took it early. I got minus 8. So I got a cash on that one. Jim had to take it late. He got minus 9, so he had to take a push on that one. If this one lands on 6 or 7, that will be the difference between a win or a push for us, Jim. All right, and now just U-Wager just went down to 6.5, but when I saw it, it was at 7. So we're giving you 7, Jim, plus 7 minus 110. Wow. What about the first half, Jim?
I'm not going to mess with it too much. Nate Pereira's on Kent too. This is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is nice to hear that. And to go against this line movement. And going against the line movement on the times when I've decided to do it, I've actually hit in a nice spot. So I'm okay with it. But I also want the over.
Okay, and why would you not like the okay, let me give you the over, and just while I'm giving you the over, tell me why you wouldn't want the first half.
It makes sense when you have a dog, but in all honesty, I'd rather be going with the line movement.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
right.
So because I'm going against it, that doesn't make me want to double it up.
Okay, the best line, it's 145 market wide, but the Greek has 144.5 minus 110. So we'll give you that one, 144.5 minus 110 on the over, Jim.
Yeah, Dirty Sanchez is with us. King Rail says, I'm just taking a chance on Kent plus 240 with a $50 bet.
Sure. I'm going to take Kent State first half. I don't understand the line move, and I will take it. If the line, look, yesterday, all the picks that I gave that were winners, all line moved against me just like this. It was like a half or 1 point move. We're going to look like we are the Sharps if this one cashes easily, and we're going against the line move. So I'm going to take first half plus 3.5. Best line right now, minus 105. Minus 105. Plus 3.5, minus 105. I'm taking that one too. Kent State first half. All right, Jim, we do want to get to the 7 o'clock NBA and NHL games before 7 o'clock comes around. So let's finish up with college basketball. What else are you liking, Jim?
Okay, so this is a controversial play, and I understand this. And this is another play, I believe, that's going against the line movement. I'm taking the over in Pennsylvania at Dartmouth.
Okay. No, I was leaning that way as well on the over. Go ahead.
Pennsylvania's won 4 straight. It's playing very good basketball. They're now 6-0 in conference play and 16-6 on the season. Dartmouth has lost 9 straight. But that includes a ton of close games. Very close games. They just went 0-4 on their 4-game road trip, losing the 4 games by an average margin of 4 points. We were trying to get information all day on whether or not one of their scorers, 6'6" freshman Chris Knight's going to be available. He's not played the last 2 games, and it's hurt them. Mm-hmm. He averages 10.7 points a game, but he can do different things for him. He can defend the perimeter. This Dartmouth team, now I know losing 9 straight is hard, but they've shown a lot of heart. I mean, they had to get over the departure of 6'8" star Evan Boudreau the day before the season started, and it left way too much for lone big 6'9", 215-pound Will Emery to do. And it's left Dartmouth as one of the worst rebounding teams in the nation. Since losing to Villanova, Pennsylvania's won 11 of 13 with the lone losses coming out of conference, Toledo and Temple. It took a while for Pennsylvania to figure out their roster. They had 18 different players see the floor this year, and now they've figured this stuff out. This is a bad matchup for Dartmouth, as they will have a very difficult time with Pennsylvania's 2 6'8" bigs, A.J. Brodeur and Max Rothschild. They combined to score 20.3 points, 13.5 boards, 5 assists. In saying that, I just keep seeing Dartmouth keep close in games and keep fighting and keep sticking around, and that's why, in the end, I can't take Pennsylvania to win this game. But let's go back to Pennsylvania. Leading scorer Ryan Bentley is a 6'5" guard who can defend the perimeter and score, averaging 14.8 points, 5.2 boards. Pennsylvania usually dominates teams that don't have useful bigs. Princeton. One of the reasons why I'm taking Harvard in that game. Now, they beat Princeton 3 days ago by 17. It makes sense. It makes sense if you break down the players that Pennsylvania would destroy Dartmouth, but these games, Dartmouth just doesn't let that happen. And I can't explain why Dartmouth doesn't let that happen. Now, Native Queen says, I like the over 2, Jim, and a lean towards Dartmouth. I wanted to take Pennsylvania. Everything when you study this game says take Pennsylvania, but Dartmouth just has this character where they fight and they scrap. And so I'm only taking the over. I think they'll scrap to keep it a close game, and I like it.
All right. Well, the best line right now is, you're right, it opened at 139. It's now down to 138. Jim likes the over. Native Queen likes the over. I was leaning over, but sort of hesitant because I wasn't sure if there was something I wasn't seeing. Now I'm convinced, though. Jim, we're going to give you the Dartmouth over 138 minus 104, and I'm going to take the first half and the full game over on this one as well. Add it to my official picks. The first half over. The full game over is 138 minus 104, and the first half over, I believe, is about 64 and a half. Yeah, so I'm going to take the first half over 64.5 minus 110. That's the current line at Pinnacle and a few other places. I'm liking it, Jimmy the Bag. I'm taking the first half and the full game over. All right, and then what else did we not get to? I guess the Detroit-Oakland game we didn't get to. We do want to get to the 7 o'clock pro games. Do you have anything to say about Detroit and Oakland?
No, I didn't have enough time to fully break down each game, which I thought I would. There's 10 fucking games. I've almost 5 hours from show to show. But the Detroit-Oakland game, we're dealing with all these injuries, all this volatility. And I just thought, you know what, focus on the other games.
All right, so is that it? Should we wrap up college basketball right now, Jim?
I am going to still study this Eastern Washington and Idaho game as soon as the show's over, so we can tweet that shit out.
All right, so once again, in addition to my picks in the morning show, I have added on Columbia first half plus 2.5, Columbia full game plus 4.5, Davidson first half plus 3.5 minus 120. Native Queen likes that one strong. A lot of people have given the other side of why you would like Rhode Island on that one. And I think it's kind of telling that Native Queen didn't say that she likes Davidson plus the 5.5 on the full game. But I'm going to go on the first half with that one. I'm also taking Kent State first half plus 3.5 and Dartmouth first half over 64.5 and the full game over 138. Jimmy the Bag has given Harvard minus 1.5, Brown minus 5. Columbia first half plus 2.5 and Columbia full game plus 4.5. Kent State plus 7. Dartmouth over 138 minus 104 and the Ball State game over 144.5. And that wraps it up for our college basketball. Also, we got the second half in the Toledo game coming up in a minute or two. So let's move on to what do we got first on the agenda?
What do we have?
NHL.
Okay, good.
All
perfect.
Right. Yes.
I need to tell you a couple things about the NHL. First, quickly, Brent Brooks. From Dallas, and he's been giving us excellent insight about what's going on. He's a Canadian guy, but from Dallas, and he gave us the exact score of that Dallas-Chicago game yesterday. And so we got some information from Brent. We also got some information from Cleveland Steamer here. First off, Brent told me that Dallas plane didn't land till 4 in the morning.
Really? That stuff really does matter. That stuff I've noticed does matter when people get in late.
It does matter when they get in late. 4 in the morning. And then Cleveland Steamer says, I thought I'd mention you guys that the Penguins' dads are along with the team on this 2-game trip. So he says, easy pick. Take the Pens and the over.
Wow. So you like that? Take the Pens and the over.
That's what he's saying.
Why does he like the over if Dallas landed late? Because they're just going to not put up any defense?
Or letting it at home. I mean, he's not explaining himself. Please do. Please do. Okay, so in saying that, God, that makes me think that we should take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I was leaning under on that one, but I did not take it. I did wind up taking the under in the Calgary Rangers game, which also goes off at 6. All right, so Dallas didn't land till 4 in the morning, and they're not a team with good character anyway, and Pittsburgh is. All right, I'm going to take this one, and you know what else I'm doing with letting it in there? Here you go. Earlier in the day, King Rail asked for any alternative puck lines that I was liking, and I did see that comment, King Rail. I just didn't answer because I didn't really have any. Now I got one. I'm going to take Pittsburgh minus 1. I'm going to take Pittsburgh minus 1 here, Jim. Wow. The money line part of that will be plus 106. Plus 106, and I'm going to go to Pinnacle right now to find the best alternative line on this one, and I will make this one an official pick. It's not going to be a massive alternative puck line here, but it should be a, wind up being like -1, -180 or something like that. Let's find the NHL all-time. I mean, Pittsburgh is a team that we're looking to bet on anyway, right?
You're right. And I made the call. We talked, I said blindly bet them like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was very successful. And then, they're 10-15-2 on the road. And other than that Vegas game, which they were up 5-2 in the third period, and Vegas has the heart of fucking champion. They came back to make it 5-4. But other than that, they'd cleared 6 games in a row at -1.5. You know what? I love this shit. I love getting this information from Brent.
Yes.
I love getting this information from Cleveland Steamer. I love that Bill Buttlicker's on it. I love that you jumped on it. Yeah. I'm going to take Pittsburgh on the money line.
All right. Those are a whole bunch of vulgar commenter names. But yes, the information was great. All right, you're going to take them on the money line, right?
Yes.
All right, Pittsburgh on the money line is +106, and I'm taking Pittsburgh -1, which involves the alternative puck line. The money line is +106. At Pinnacle, the alternative puck line right now is +282. And again, when you get information like that, I will sometimes act just on that information, but rarely. Usually, it's only if it's something where, it pushes me over the edge anyway. And in this case, it is because Pittsburgh's a team, as you said, Jim, we're looking to bet on them in general anyway. So we don't need a lot of information. I mean, even if we didn't have that information, just based on our earlier handicapping of Pittsburgh, they might be a good bet anyway. So now that information boosts it. Dallas also, they've been great at home, but they're also a team that, as we know, doesn't have great character. So when there's a little bit of, bad fortune that comes their way for any game or any spot of time, where they're not the kind of team that's going to be able to overcome that, as opposed to Vegas, which is the opposite kind of team, a team with good character that does overcome adversity relatively well. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Vegas is a team where you're like, oh, they have to travel across country and this and that and this and that. You're like, yeah, but they're Vegas. They're going to overcome that. Dallas, the opposite. When you're seeing a situation where they're dealing with some adversity or whatever, you're going to think the exact opposite, that's going to affect them a lot, or likely to. So all those combinations, all those factors combined leads me to take Pittsburgh -1, and Jim took them as well on the money line +106. I was also leading under on that one. I'm not going to take that under. I just took the Rangers under, which what's your take on that game, Jim?
So we did get confirmation, I believe, that it's Pavlich. Sorry, there was a question about Billy T, just so I don't need to write. Says, what do you think of John Gibson being back? I think it really helps. Ryan Miller did drop the ball with knowing that he had to play every day on a road trip, and he did not look good. So I believe we have confirmation, and I can't believe I didn't get that confirmation. Let me just quickly do that, unless you guys want to. I believe that Pavlich is going to be in net tonight. I told, and McDonough is out. That's a huge loss. I think that hearing your management say we are sellers, this before the trade deadline at this point, hurts the dressing room. And not having Zibanejad, the way he played in the beginning of the year, he looked like a number 1 centerman. He looked like a point-a-game guy. He looked like a power play specialist. Then he got that concussion. Concussions deal with people different. People handle concussions differently. This was obviously a bad one. He's not looking good. I do not believe in this Rangers team moving forward, and I think it's a nice spot. Daniel Singer says, yes, Pavlich confirmed. I think they're a great spot to fade. And when Pavlich looked awesome early in the year, I lost fading him because I do not believe in Pavlich. And then Pavlich in the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks has shown what I believe are his true colors. I think whenever Pavlich is in net, I think it's an automatic fade.
Right. Okay, so Jim's on the puck line on that one for Calgary, and I did take the under, which I feel just like, here you go, Jace Gum says, I took the Rangers under, but I'm not confident about it, and that's how I feel about it as well. I just feel like the Rangers probably aren't going to push the issue offensively, and Pavlich might give up a few, but Calgary's also not going to push the issue too strongly. So maybe we'll see like a 3-1, 4-1 type of win for Calgary, and that's why I'm looking for the under. If it's 5-1, I get a push. If it's 6-1, all right, I'll eat the loss. But if Calgary does dominate, you probably aren't going to. You're not going to get an empty net goal at the end, so that helps as well. And in general, I like to take under 6s when I am expecting a not close game, because then you're not worried about the empty net stuff at the end. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking the under. I don't feel super confident about it, just like Jace Gum said. Jim likes Calgary, and I think he does feel pretty confident about that, don't you? Right, Jim?
Well, we know that Calgary is not beating teams badly. They're winning by small margins.
Right.
But I just think this is the time to fade New York, and I fucking love these big plus lines. I just love them, and this is one of them.
All right, so again, with the 7 o'clock games, we'll talk about the 7 o'clock games, then we'll move to the 7 o'clock NBA games, then we'll come back to the NHL games and NBA games. Calgary Rangers, Jim's on Calgary. I took the under at that one, and I got him at minus 115. Obviously, now there's been a big move to the over. It's now 6 plus 100 at Bet Online, so the line moved against me there. Columbus and Washington, Jim and I are both on Washington. I took Washington on the team total over and the -1 line. Jim took him on the puck line, and I was thinking about throwing the over on that one when it was plus 113, and now it's down to +1. Well, it's still plus 110 at the Greek, but I'm leaning over on that one for sure. Detroit Islanders, that is. Oh no, you did take Detroit on that one, didn't you, Jim?
I did.
Yeah, and what line did you get?
I believe I got a plus 100, but I'm just sending in my first half bet to my local.
You took him on the. Let me see. You took him on the money line, I think, right?
Yes.
Let me find this shit here. Let me just.
I know I got minus 110 when I had to send it.
Yeah,
in.
you took him on at plus 100, and now there's been a 5-cent move in your favor, so that's slightly nice to see for you there, Jim. The Washington game, the line has not moved since we took it in the morning show. That's okay. And again, I was leaning over on that one. I didn't want to triple up on it because, if Washington scores 2 goals in this game, then that means the over probably doesn't cash, the puck line probably doesn't cash, and the Washington team total over doesn't cash. So, I didn't want to triple up on it, but I did have a lean to the over, and that is now still plus 110 at the Greek. But man, you really don't trust Columbus to score at all.
I don't. The Werenski injury is a big deal. Now, as soon as Atkinson starts, obviously that foot injury did more than what he's led on to. Also, getting that giant contract. Also, having Tortorella's fucking bullshit in your ear nonstop. His anger and he thinks he's pushing you by saying terrible things to you, benching you. He benched Atkinson right after he signed that $40-some-odd million contract. You start tuning this shit off.
Yeah, you got to stay positive. Can you imagine if when you were in your down spot in NBA, if instead of telling you an inspirational story of handicap or redemption, I got in your face and was like, "You suck at NBA capping, Jim"? What would have happened?
I would not have gone on that run.
Of course. All right, I'm thinking about throwing on the over here, and I think I am. I'm going to triple up on it. It's a little bit iffy, but I am going to take it. It's still 5.5 plus 110 at the Greek, and I will throw that one on there as well. I think Columbus is not going to get shut out. I think Washington's having a big day, and I think we might see like a 4-2, maybe even like a 5-1 game for Washington.
Shit, sorry. We only have 5 minutes to go, and I added in a basketball bet.
All right, so that's it. So I've added Washington, the game over, 5.5 plus 110. Let's move on to an NBA. We got 5 minutes to go. 2 games, Philly and Detroit. What do you want to add, Jim?
I'm on Detroit.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Jimmy is going to take Detroit. Detroit minus the points. You want to tell us why, Jim?
Yeah, so, I mean, we talked about this game a lot. I just don't believe that the Clippers can hang with Griffin and Drummond the way Drummond needs to send a message right now. Now, I like the Clip. I know that the Pistons don't have a lot of depth at the 1, 2, and 3. I just feel like Griffin will take it upon himself to play out of his mind. So I can understand people taking the Clips. I wanted to make a play on this card that I didn't feel was an outright trap. And I don't. I believe in this spot with the Pistons. I believe. Now, I know that Tobias Harris has the same shit going on. Avery Bradley has the same shit going on. But it's a little different. Blake Griffin, he thought he was going to spend the rest of his career on this basketball team. And I do believe he's going to want to rip their beating heart out of their chest. Now, the Clippers have more skill. You can bring in Lou Will off the bench. The guy, they're 1, 2, 3 with Bradley, Lou Will. It's much stronger than the Pistons. But I just think that the Pistons are going to do whatever they can to give their new teammate a win here.
All right, this line was 3 most of the day. Right now, the best line in the books that we use is a Pinnacle minus 3.5 plus 100. Is that okay, Jim?
Yeah.
All right, minus 3.5 plus 100. And then New Orleans, Philly. A lot of people were saying, like, don't overthink it. Just take Philly, first half on this one. What do you think about that, Jim?
Well, I mean, it's been paying nonstop.
Yeah.
But I feel uncomfortable with this game just because I think that Mirotic will step up. The Pelicans 1-4 since losing Cousins for the season. They're a rested team. Gentry's decided to start DeAndre Liggins instead of Rajon Rondo, which is a huge deal. So the idea is that they need J-Rue Holiday to be a scorer, so they want to limit the amount of time he has to defend the best perimeter player on the other side.
Let me quickly say one thing.
Sure.
I am going to take the over 76 in Toledo, Miami of Ohio. I'm going to bet that one, and that's an official pick. Toledo, Miami of Ohio, second half, over 76. Go on, Jim. I just realized we didn't catch that.
Yeah, no, that's important.
So I'm taking that one. Toledo, second half, over 76, minus 110. That is added on to my official college basketball records here.
And Native Queen says Detroit first quarter for sure. And that all makes sense. and then Luke Chase Fox says 76ers first quarter. We know how well that's done. Yeah, that Detroit first quarter play makes so much sense. But I'm going to leave it off. I'm just going to stay on the Pistons full game. Yes, the Sixers have been playing very well in the first half of games. It makes sense to do it. And this is just like the Pittsburgh situation just like the Vegas situation for me, where I'm leaving money on the table day after day after day because I don't think it's going to keep working the way it has, and it keeps working. So I cannot totally understand why you guys are going to be doing that. Are you going to do that?
What?
Take the Sixers on the first quarter of the first half?
No, I am not. I am looking more at the second half line here. Toledo, Miami, Ohio. Oof. Gosh, Toledo's really good, but I'm thinking about Miami, Ohio on the second half here at minus one. I'm thinking about this. Jim, talk about some other NBAs while I think about this.
Native Queens on the Philly first quarter. It's okay because the show's going to end anyways. There was a question about a hockey game that we didn't even get to in the early show, and that was the big matchup. Hello says, fuck you, Jimmy the Bag. Hello. Oh, that's funny. So Blues at Jets. We never really broke down, and it's a huge battle.
We don't have to cut the show off early, do we, Larry? Oh, there you go.
Sweet.
Thank you very much. All right, so we can extend this about 15 minutes. All right, talk about it, Jimmy the Bag.
Well, this is a huge game. Blues are on the second half of a back-to-back after destroying the Avalanche 6-1 last night. Braden Shen fought Avalanche captain Gabriel Landeskog right off the opening face-off. It set a tone. A tone, if they continue setting, they're going to be very difficult to beat. Hello. You know what's great? What's great is I don't know who, because so many different guys hate me. I don't know who this guy is.
That is very nice. Oh, his name is Hello.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know who. It could be anybody.
Okay.
So it doesn't bother me at all. Okay. Scheifele will be making his return to the lineup after a 6-week absence. He had 38 points in 38 games before he got hurt. He's going to be a huge help, but these guys don't necessarily help on the first game back. They almost rarely do. And he's going to be playing first. He's going to be back on that line with Line A. It's not easy. It's not easy going back to Line A and Wheeler after they've been rolling without him. They went 11-2-3 without their number one center. Now, they have a ton of injuries right now. Michael Hutchinson was diagnosed with a concussion Wednesday after taking a deflected shot. Steve Mason's already out with a concussion. Now they have a lot of depth, so Eric Connery is going to be recalled to back up Hellebuck. But the Jets are also dealing with injuries to Matt Hendricks, Adam Lowry, Brandon Tanev, Sean Matthias, and defenseman Jacob Trouba. That's a ton of injuries, and this is the number one home team in the league right now. They have a better home record than Vegas now at 23-2. It's a very, very tricky spot, and I'm staying off that game.
Okay. Yes, I'm looking for a lot of people were also saying that. What game were you just talking about?
I'm talking about the Blues Jets.
Right. A lot of people were talking about the Heat, the Miami Heat game. I was thinking about a shot with the under on that one. Sammy Camachione likes the Heat under, and Hello, who doesn't have a pick and who hates you, Jimmy the Bag, also likes the Heat and the under. I mean, listen. Look, it's a fucking opinion. If he gives a handicapping opinion, if someone comes in and says "fuck you, Pete," and then he says I also like St. Mary's minus the points, I'm going to take that opinion as a real opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
I was thinking about the under there in the Miami game. What do you think?
I'm not entirely sure what Dwayne Wade's going to be. I know that they're going to be excited to have them. Will that excitement lead to more offense, or will it? We know that Wade generally slows down the pace. There's so much volatility with a star like that coming back onto the team, and the Bucks are a tricky team to figure out as well. I don't feel right giving you a side or a total or an edge on the total.
Wow, this commenter Hello is a real wacko. Look at that, but I kind of like it. I don't want to get him on on his bad side because then he'll start hating me. But he's got some interesting comments here. Where did that comment go?
What? I don't have a pick. What do you mean? What do you mean I don't have a pick?
He's obsessed with the fact. No, he's saying that he doesn't have a pick.
No, he's talking about me. He says he calls this guy. He's the guy who's been hammering me, and yet I don't have a pick.
No, he says I don't. He says he made these. Oh, he deleted the comment. He said. Wait, where is that? He's saying that he himself doesn't. Oh, he deleted it. Oh, okay. Oh, he means a pic of you? Wait, what's he talking about? Why would he want to pick? You got a video of it. What, so, he's saying that he himself doesn't have. This guy's a real whack job, man. LO, troll the guy calls himself a professional handicapper, and yet I don't have a pick. It is very frustrating. What does that mean? He's frustrated that he doesn't have a pick of himself.
Yeah, let's just focus on the captain right now. Let's just focus on the captain.
Wow, what a wacko. What a scary wacko. But I want him to, if he's going to hate someone, I want him to focus on Jim. I don't want him to turn to me. What the hell is going on here? Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, I know. And his commenter name is just hello. That's a little whacked out. You know what I'm saying? That's a little screwy.
It is a little screwy.
That is pretty scary, man. All right.
Okay.
I want him to hate only Jimmy and not turn his attention to me.
It's fine because there's enough people now that I just have no idea. I have no idea who it is, so I don't get bothered by it anymore.
All right. So all right. Let's move on. How I'm a little bit spooked here. Yeah, I was thinking about giving the first half under in the Miami-Milwaukee game. It's down to a 199 or 198.5. It was a 101 on the morning show. Let me find what the first half total would be on that Miami. Oh man, yeah, oof. Now it's up to 102 on the first half. So that means that the first half total has taken some money getting bet higher. I don't know, man. I'm thinking the first half under might be a good play here, Jim.
I can understand the play for sure.
All right, let's get back. This has been a pretty disjointed show. So the 7 o'clock games are gone. Let's finish up the NBA, rest of the NBA card, and then let's go back to the NHL for the rest of the NHL card. Jim, Cleveland, Atlanta, everyone's passing on this one. All the guys who are the new acquisitions are out for Cleveland. None of them are going to play. So what does that mean? Over, under, Cleveland cashes. Maybe it means that LeBron just takes the game on his shoulder and cashes in the first quarter, as he's been doing. You know, I think that might be. I think that the trades might have shaken him up. Who's going to be the supporting cast then for Cleveland? Is it going to be good enough, Jim?
I think what you said initially, it's not going to have to do with the supporting cast. You know, LeBron likes this situation, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he likes it when it's all on him. In saying that, I think that the Hawks are a nice spot.
You think so?
I do.
Why? You like them as a team in general? They recently lost. Aren't they on a back-to-back?
They lost to Orlando last night.
Yeah.
198. Yeah, no, I mean, Lee Davis says Atlanta for sure. Melee Payless Way says Hawks. I just think that Ilyasova and Bellinelli didn't want to be traded, which actually surprised me. And they're happy to be sticking around. This is a young Atlanta squad, and if it's all LeBron all day, we know what happens. Cleveland's winning at the quarter, winning at the half, and then they lose the game in the end.
I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take the Cavs first quarter at just a pick 'em, minus 108, current line at Pinnacle. I understand why someone would say just pass on this game completely, but I'm going to take a shot with it. I think that maybe LeBron will put the game on his shoulders at least to start in the first quarter, and I'll take the Cavs first quarter pick 'em minus 108. What do you think, Jim?
I don't think that's a terrible spot at all. I just think there's so much. I have no control.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Houston and Denver, we were talking maybe about a shot with the over on that one. That line, okay, it was 222 where it opened, and then in the morning show, I was like, wow, there's some ominous movement on the under, and we should have grabbed it there because now the line has moved up a little bit. It's now up to 223 or 223.5. That tells me the over's probably the play here. When's the last time we saw this? Houston against Brooklyn, right? Same deal. Opened at about 218, got bet down early, down to 215.5. Then at this point in the show, was all the way up to 218 to 218.5. I said that tells me this game's going over. It did go over. I'm thinking the same thing here. We should have grabbed it in the morning show, and I was thinking that. We should have grabbed like the 221 in the morning show. Now it's up to 223. I'm thinking this is an over here, Jim.
We should have taken it on the morning show, and
I am going to take it. I'm going to take Houston. I'm adding that one. A lot of times these late show picks, when we have a lot more information and a lot more line movements to analyze, have been pretty good. I'm going to take this one 223 minus 110. The Houston game, Houston-Denver over 223 minus 110. That's going to be an official pick, and I'm even going to look at the first half. Give some thoughts, Jim, while I look at the first. Wow, the first half is up to 115 now. Wow.
Wow.
Look at
that. I wish it would make me more comfortable to have a second play on the card right now. Joey Crawford, very interesting stuff, says Gary Solinsky's reffing the Cavs game tonight, and he's anti-blowout. He always bets on the team that's down at the half, likes to keep them close.
All right. If Cleveland's up by 10 at the half, definitely going to be thinking about Atlanta, although they are in a back-to-back, and, but that's very interesting.
Very interesting, Joey. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that very, very much. The first half total in Denver-Houston is 114, 114 and a half, or 115. I'm thinking about doubling up on this one, Jim. The line movement, I think, is very telling. The first half is higher than 50% of the full game, and I am going to double up on it. Look what I'm doing, Jim. Look at all these bets I'm adding on in the 6 o'clock show. First half over 114 minus 110. Current line at Bookmaker and Intertops. Thank you so much, Intertops, for offering us the best line on the first half over in Denver-Houston. I'm doubling up on this one, Jim.
I get it. Native Queen says Houston first quarter again. Maze Nuts says, thanks, Pete and Jim. Great show. I mainly bet football, but watching this show has given me confidence to bet other sports.
Yes, the edges are there, but it takes a lot of research. And the first piece of advice I would give to anyone who makes a comment like that is there are edges, but don't bite off more than you can chew. Because if you bite off more than you can chew, all of your research goes out the window, and you'll just be basically making coin flips, if you're lucky, or getting suckered into traps. Where you're just given like a 5-minute analysis and thinking the line's off. It's off for a reason. You're on the wrong side. And so, yes, there can be great edges in other sports. Don't bite off more than you can chew is the first piece of advice, first recommendation I would give to anyone who makes a comment like that. All right, Jim, so Native Queen likes Houston first quarter again. She said that?
Yep.
It's -3 now. It's up from 2.5 to 3. Obviously, that's just what Houston does. But Denver's been playing well. They're going on the road. I think she's probably right there. I'm going to stick with my overplays, though.
Yeah, I feel like I missed the boat, and we just had such a nice opportunity to grab it, and I wonder if I'm making a mistake not grabbing it again.
Andy Townsend saying Cleveland should slow it down to offset the short bench. Yeah, I've been getting burned with taking trying to time Cleveland unders recently. So, but I would be thinking that yeah. What do you think, Jim? Under in the Cleveland game. Let's see what that total is right now.
Yeah, let's see what that
total is right now, and we'll check the movement. Cleveland, Atlanta. Yeah, it opened at 213.5. That's right where it is. It's just like Cleveland is if they really just don't play any defense,
which we've seen before.
We've seen many times.
But if those D leaguers get in there, that they'll play defense.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will, Jimmy the Bag. And Atlanta's on a back-to-back, and they're off a low-scoring game as well, right, Jim? Man. All right, I'm taking that one, too. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the Cleveland-Atlanta game under 213.5. Look what I'm doing here, Jim. I'm adding on all these picks. 213.5 minus 106. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I do like that. It's just such an uncertain. I think, LeBron's going to put the game on his shoulder, and then in the first quarter. And then the second half is just going to be, all the D-leaguers. I think you're right. I think they're going to slow it down. And I think you're right. I'm liking the under. I'm taking the under 213.5 minus 106. It's all coming clear to me, Jim. It's all coming clear to me. These late plays, I feel, are very strong in the professional sports. Jimmy the Bag.
I think you guys are on the right track there. Austin Geist is on it, too. Andrea says the same thing. They're going to play defense to prove themselves tonight before the new guys come.
I was also leaning under in Charlotte, Utah, and I bet that one at 208 on the opener. That's now down to 205.5 or 206. That's pretty telling as well. What do you think about the under in the Charlotte, Utah game, Jim?
I do like that play, but I'm just, my head's stuck. I think you guys are on the right. I think you guys are right. I think you're right on the under. I'm going to take it as well.
On what?
On the under in the Cavaliers-Hawks game.
Okay. So Jim's going to take the Cavs on the under. 213.5 minus 106 is the current line at Pinnacle.
Okay. Sweet. And I have 19 minutes before
Okay, very, very nice. I'm also thinking about throwing on the Utah and Charlotte game over. Now, of course, Utah's been explosive offensively. What do you make of that? Are they just a really great offensive team now, or do you think there was something a little bit fluky there? I definitely like the line move here to the under. I bet it at 208. What's your take on that one, Jim?
Well, it's slick Ricky Rubio, man. I mean, he's just playing out of his mind. This is the way we always imagined he would play when we heard about him coming over from Europe. He's actually finally doing it now. 22.1 points, 7.7 assists, shooting 53.8% from the field over their 7-game winning streak. And then now Kemba is an all-star. Is he going to stop forcing it? Because before he wasn't an all-star, he was putting up 40 points a game. He knew somebody was going to get hurt and he'd get into that game. It's tough, man. Hood missed 15 games with various injuries. They're lucky now to get something for him, but all they got was Jay Crowder. I mean, he won't be in the lineup. The Jazz are a very difficult team to figure out. I did not expect them to be this offensive juggernaut moving forward.
Yeah. All right, I'm definitely liking the under on that one, but I'll keep it as a lean, even though that is definitely a right. Okay, what else do we have, Jim? Anything else you want to add on from NHL or NBA?
No, I'm comfortable with that spot. I mean, what was the line movement in the Jazz game, anyways? Just on the sides.
The total went down, and the side in the Jazz game, small move in favor of Utah. They opened at about 5.5, now up to 6. Greek still has 5.5 minus 115.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay with where I'm at. I'm gonna add that under in Cleveland. I think that will be a good spot. I think the D-leaguers will play defense. I think you and the chat are on the right track, and I'm happy to follow that. Wings are up 1-0.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
All right, so here are all the picks that we have given today. Jim gave the Pistons minus 3.5 plus 100, and he also he went on with the Atlanta Cavs game under 213.5 with us. And in NBA, he gave Harvard minus 1.5, Brown minus 5, Columbia minus first half plus 2.5, and the full game plus 4.5. Kent State plus 7, Detroit game over 138, and Ball State over 144.5. And in NHL, he added on the Pittsburgh money line. I added on in college basketball, Kent State first half plus 3.5. The Dartmouth game, first half over 64.5 and the full game over 138. Davidson first half plus 3.5. Columbia first half plus 2.5 and the full game plus 4.5. I also added on the second half over in the Toledo game at 76 minus 110. And in NHL, I added on Pittsburgh minus 1, and in NBA, I also added on the Washington over 5.5 plus 110 in NHL, and in NBA, I added on Cavs first quarter pick'em, Houston first half over 114, and the full game over 223, and the Atlanta game under 213.5, 106, going along with Jimmy and some other guys in the comments section who really like that one. And I guess that just about wraps it up, Jim. Right? Anything else you want to mention here?
You haven't got your UFC.
Oh shit! Yeah. All right, let's quickly go to UFC. Yes, we did preview the.
And sorry, one last question. I hate to interrupt, but Matthew 1984 NBA says, "Are you keeping your Vancouver
plus 1?" Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Plus 1. You know, I think it's going to be a tight scoring game, and I would definitely be leaning the Carolina team total under 3.5, even at 150. I mean, that's not a team. Someone else commented in the morning that is not a team that should be have a team total of 3.5 ever against
Cornell
anyone.
Is up 13-0.
Cornell's up 13-0. There you go. All right. Well, it's still
Philadelphia's up 7-0 for everyone taking them first quarter.
Very, very nice. Wow. Yeah, I did take. Jim and I are going head to head. Jim took Brown minus 5.5. I took Cornell plus 5. Jim took Brown minus 5. I took Cornell plus 5.5. But that is still a long way to go. Long ways to go, Jimmy the Bag. All right, UFC 221. Let's quickly get to that. An interesting fight: Romero against Rockhold. I guess the good news is that Andreas Hale and I were both once again mostly in agreement in all of our analysis of the main card, and we did both take Rockhold minus 145 and the over 1.5 rounds at minus 190. Obviously, Romero, 41 years old, however old he is, very dangerous, but he's going to have to win this fight probably with a one-punch finisher, and Rockhold's aware of that. He's going to be trying to maintain his distance, and I think he's going to be able to do it successfully. So I think one way or another, I think either Rockhold wins by decision or he gets a late finish. But I definitely feel like Romero could catch him in the first round. But if Romero doesn't catch him in the first round, I think it's much more likely than not that the fight, goes into the third round? And if so, the over's a good play. So I like the over 1.5 rounds minus 190, even though that is, I don't really love to take big favorite lines in MMA, but it's just 1.5 rounds. Rockhold will keep his distance in the first round, and then you're in the second round already. And if it goes half the second round, you got to cash it there. So Andreas Hale and I both like Rockhold to win at minus 145, and I like the over 1.5 rounds a lot more than Rockhold to win, because Romero could win. I just feel like at the odds, Rockhold is probably the side with the edge. Then in the Mark Hunt Blades fight, Andreas Hale and I also both think that this one has Blades by decision written all over it. So we both made Blades by decision at plus 188, an official pick there. Obviously, Hunt could finish him, but I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit of a boring fight. Might get some boos in the middle of the second and the third round. I think it goes to decision, and I took Blades. And if it does go to decision, I think it's because Blades is successful in his game plan. So I took 2 bets on this one. I took fight going to distance, which is plus 125, and Blades by decision at plus 188. Andreas Hale agreed with Blades by decision, plus 188, but didn't take the fight going to distance as a second bet. The Tuivasa fight is a total pass. Just too many unknowns there. Matthews against Li Jingliang. I passed on that one. Andreas Hale likes the under at 2.5 plus 155. It's nice that you're getting a big underdog line there. I don't know, though. Jingliang is kind of durable, and I feel like we don't quite know what we're going to get from Matthews. So, Andreas Hale likes the under. He made that one an official pick, and I passed on that one. And then the Tyson Pedro fight, I did take a shot. Small shot with the over 1.5 rounds at plus 105. Now, obviously, Pedro is great and could easily get a first round finish. Safarov doesn't have much, but Pedro is coming off a loss, right? And I think that'll make him a little bit more, more cautious and more calculated. And I'm just thinking that this fight, is more likely to be a little bit longer than the market is giving it credit for. So I did make that one an official pick as well, over 1.5 rounds at plus 105. I think my favorite bet on the card for sure is Romero Rockhold over 1.5 rounds at minus 190. That would be my best bet. Other bets that I had, Rockhold to win, Blades by decision, Blade Hunt going the distance, and the Tyson Pedro fight going over. And Andreas Hale agreed with all of those, except for he didn't take the Tyson Pedro fight going over with me, and he also liked the under in the Jake Matthews fight. And that's how things went in the Andreas Hale video for UFC 221, Jim. Best bet of the card, I would say, Rockhold against Romero, over 1.5 rounds, minus 190. I think the only way that doesn't happen is if Romero catches Rockhold early, which is possible. What? We got some funny shit coming in?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No, they're making fun of me. It's all
good. Thank God. Yeah. Whew, thank God. All right. What? Jim, would you rather share glasses than to listen to this? What do you mean? You like listening to MMA breakdowns, right?
I do.
Yeah, for sure. I like listening to your horse breakdowns unless I'm doing other research while you're talking. All right, Jim. There's the MMA analysis. Any other final words that you want to, or picks that you want to add on before we
No, but hockey's going great. Detroit's up 2-0. Caps are up 1-0. But college basketball is not looking so good. Pennsylvania, Dartmouth started low scoring. Princeton's up 3 on Harvard. Cornell's destroying Brown. Yale's up 11 on Columbia. Wow, and Miami, Ohio's had a big second half right now. So
yes, and my second half overplay is looking pretty decent. 33 points I'm seeing in the first 8 minutes and change. So that's nice. Let's see what's going on here. Columbia, the Columbia Yale. Wow, that game is really headed over, fast paced. All right, Columbia's down, but we'll see. Cornell. Yep, I had Cornell. The Penn Dartmouth game. Yep, that game is not going over. Princeton's up on Harvard. That's okay. That's a close game. Davidson URI. Okay, look at that one. Davidson is hanging tough, and that's about it. So let's wrap this shit up, Jimmy the Bag.
Sure.
Oh, man, I am beat. A whole week. 10 Jim Loshak in the Bag shows. We got through it, Jim. It was a good week, a fun week, overall successful week. And that's it. We'll be back on Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time.